Hey everybody, welcome to the Take 5 Art for March. The prompts this month were chosen by the lovely Kyra, and I am putting the prompts up here on the right hand side. A little bit late this month, but better late than never, I always say. So I bought my first lot of art supplies for 2019 the other day, and I thought I'd use them here. These are the Vicky Boutin paints, and I love the color scheme. This is the first time I've ever tried these, so what you see me doing here is my first attempt. So I tried to put some onto the page here, and they soaked up pretty quickly, so I thought that I needed a quick layer of gesso on this Diane Reevely journal. So a quick layer of gesso goes down first, then I'm going to start again with the lightest of the colors. This is Sweet Buttercream. This paint turned out to be really heavy, like heavy bodied, so I tried to add a little bit of water just to water it down and make it go on quite nicely. I wanted to do just a thin layer, and I wanted to leave a lot of white space this time. So as you can see here, I'm using too small a brush as always. I always laugh at myself and just, I don't know why I always go for the smallest brush, but I always pick up the first one available, and it's always the wrong brush. So with this second color, I decided to add it with my hands just for a little bit of an organic feel, and plus I wanted to play and have a little bit of a feel for what the paint was like. This is Toasted Marshmallow, and it's supposed to be like a gold, but it looks like almost greeny on screen. It was, right now it's looking really ugly, and I thought, what am I doing? This is so ugly, but I tried to push through. I'm adding the white here. This is the vanilla frosting, and I didn't like the idea of just smudging it, so I thought I'd reach for a sponge and stencil a pattern through. And yes, sure enough, this is much nicer, and it covers that stark difference between the buttercream and the toasted marshmallow. So I am going to do that now all over the page. I'm making sure to dry between each application, and then I'm going back and adding more paint through the stencil. So once that's on and dry, I wanted to show you, this is the tissue paper that I'm using, hence the colors that I chose. I thought that they would go really lovely with the flesh tone of this girl and the gold color. This is a tissue or a napkin sent to me by one of my friends. Thank you, Leanne. I love her, and I wanted to use her in this spread. So I'm just putting her down with matte medium, trying hard not to break anything, but I do get a few breaks here and there, but it doesn't really matter because I make it work. Once again, I'm using my fingers because matte medium just goes all over my paintbrushes and it ruins my paintbrushes. So on with my finger they go. I really like how it's looking now, so I've decided to move on to the second prompt, which is the border, and this time I'm using one of Diane Reevely's stamps, and this is going to be a border. Up at the top right hand side and the bottom left hand side, I'm applying this wiggly border. I'm not sure what she calls it. I thought it would look nice in black as a contrast to the lady, the Klimt lady. And then I thought for the other side I'd use a leaf border and just stamp some of these leaves in second and first generation stamping. I then reach for my Prima pans, watercolor pans, and I'm just going to add a little bit of green. This is the metallic range. I'm going with that earthy color here, and I'm just adding a little bit of green inside each of the leaves. after that, I thought I'd add just a little bit of blue, a little bit of the background behind her. She's got a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, and a little bit of red. So I thought I'd pull out some of the blue from her background. I don't know if this works much. It's fine, I suppose. I don't really like it too much, but I'm not going to fuss over it. I don't like this part here in the middle, so I thought I would try to add just another color through the stencil, but it didn't work so well because it's the watercolor. I should have used a paint. So I dabbed it off and then decided that perhaps I'm going to use this little bit of washi here. It's a doodle washi, so I wanted this doodle to be my prompt. So I add this washi through and I tried to blend it into the background, and it actually makes quite a huge mess. I tried to take it off, but it had already dried on so fast. So I go back with my Prima pans and add some gold watercolor to cover over the gesso that I'd added. You can still see the doodle from the washi tape, which is good, but then I had to touch up her hair because I got a little bit of gesso and gold on her hair. So I'm going to go back in with my watercolors and add just a little bit of black and blend in some of that top there, which I think kind of made a mess with the blue at the top. So I'm going to try to fix that in a little bit. I'm just putting some gel medium down so that it mats down the washi and it doesn't peel up. And then I'm going to go ahead and fix her hair. So that area still I'm not too happy about it, but I will come back to it. So now I'm working on flowers. I've got this stamp by Diane Reevely. I stamped it on white paper at first, but I grabbed a scrap of paper and it's fussy cut it out, and the flowers looked so much nicer out of the pattern paper, so I thought I'd do that. I fussy cut a whole lot out, and now I'm just going to add the flowers, which is another one of the prompts, all around my double page layout. I also have this beautiful dried flower from my collection. I've been drawing these for about maybe 4, 5, 6 months now, and I love it. It's the same color as the napkin and the buttercream that I used in the back there, so I think it's perfect for this occasion. What I'm doing now is I'm going to add a little bit of matte media to hold down the flowers around the page. And then I'm going to do a bit of a cluster at the top left-hand side there. Right after I finish matting these flowers down, I'm going to start with that cluster. What I'm going to do is add a whole lot of washi tape just underneath the flower. And I'm choosing 3 different types of washi. I've got a black and white one, a gold and white polka dot, and the doodle washi tape that I chose the first time. And I like that cluster there, it's really pretty. And I'm going to finish off by matting the flower down. So the next thing I grab is this black licorice paint, and with my thin paintbrush I'm going to add a quote. This is a quote by Lady Bird Johnson, and it says, "Where flowers bloom, so too does hope." So now I'm going to turn my attention to the right hand side there where there's a little bit of a mess. I'm using this crackle background stamp, and I'm just going to add a little bit of crackle over that area just to blend it up a little bit. And I'm really happy with how that looks. It's amazing how a little bit of stamp effect really deters from the problems that you think you see. And lastly, because I didn't want to not do a prompt, this is my doodling attempt. I picked out some of the circle doodles from the back of the napkin background, and I'm just doodling a few circles and a few flowers. I am not the best doodler, but I thought I'd give it a go, and I'm showing you here just how simple, they are. I didn't like them too much, so I stamped some more crackle on top, but they are there, so I did complete all 5 prompts. So that is my layout, you guys. I hope you do give the March prompts a go. They are really beautiful, and I can't wait to see what the other girls have done with the prompts this month. Don't forget that if you play along, use the hashtag Take5Art and tag us on Instagram. That's where we hang out the most. Don't forget to check out the other girls' videos. I'm going to leave a link below. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you in my next video.